Good evening, everybody. This is Robin Pieper with the Globus Family of Brands, and we'll get started here in just a minute. I just wanted to do a quick sound check. If you can hear me okay, would you please just give me a quick note in the questions box? Can anybody hear me? So just as we were getting a couple more people signed in, I just wanted to go over a little housekeeping. This will last about 30 minutes. So we've just got a little bit of an interesting topic tonight. We're going to talk about 8 different ways to spend 8 days with the Globus family of brands. And one of the reasons I picked this topic and wanted to talk to you about it tonight is many people, Americans who are going on vacation, they only want to be gone for about 8 days. We have studies that show that, and they'd rather take 2 trips rather than take one really long trip, which is fantastic. That is what we love to do. We love to send people on vacation with the Globus family of brands and with cruise holidays. So I don't like starting late, so we're going to just go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so I think some of you have already been on some of my webinars, but I wanted to just go over, for anyone new, who the Globus family of brands is and how we get people to lots of different destinations. As you can see here, we are now on all 7 continents. We just added Antarctica to our portfolio, and we've been taking people on vacation for 92 years. So we are the oldest and the largest tour company in the world. So we're very proud of that, but we're also very proud of the fact that we have so many happy repeat guests. So Globus is our main brand, and that's our fully escorted first-class touring product throughout the world. You'll have a professional tour director, a professional driver, and we'll talk a little bit more about what else is included in a Globus vacation in a little bit. And then Cosmos is our more, it's also fully escorted, but it's a little bit more affordable. So not as many inclusions, not as many meals, not as many sightseeing things up front. There are some things that you can purchase, but we get you the must-see sites, but then there's some other things that you might want to add on as you go. Monograms is our more independent style travel, and this is a really neat way to travel, not just through Europe. Tonight I'm actually going to talk about some of our exotic destinations with the Monograms brand. And then Avalon Waterways is our river cruise company. We sail in Europe, in Southeast Asia, in Africa, in Egypt, in India, so all around the world. And it's just a great way to see the world along the rivers. So without further ado, I really want to talk to you tonight about how to make the most of your vacation and what you're looking for in a vacation. And I think it's important to point out that, you know, especially with the brands that I just went over, what's good for one vacation might not be good for the next. What's good in one destination might not be what you want to do or the style that you want to do it in another. That's what makes the Globus family of brands so important, because we can help you through a lifetime of vacations, not just one here or one there, or, you know, we've got a wide array of destinations and how to see those destinations. So it's always important to find out what your travel style is. And like I said before, it might not be your travel style always. It might be different for different destinations for different reasons. But I wanted to go over a couple of our brands that I think would be of interest to you. Of course, Globus is kind of our the mothership, if you will. And here you're going to find more included excursions, more included experiences, more included meals, much more than what we offer with the Cosmos brand, but also more than what our competitor set does. We even include the tips for the local guides, which is a nice feature. We also have top-notch transportation with the Globus brand, beautiful new motor coaches, plenty of leg room. They're all Wi-Fi enabled. They have charging stations for your phones, just a lot of special amenities that, motor coaches 20 years ago did not even think about offering. Our hotels with Globus are going to be the heart of the destination. So that means you are going to be able to go out and find a little cafe or do a little shopping in your free time. And speaking of free time, I always like to point out our VIP skip the line feature. This gives you the ability to go straight to the front of the line, whether it's at the Eiffel Tower during peak season or whether it's, going into the Coliseum. Where there's a line, you will not stand in it. And that goes back to, having more free time. So you will have more free time than you would with some of our competitors because of this ability to skip the line. You're not standing in line for an hour or 2 hours. You're going straight to the sites. And that freedom gives you time to go out and explore on your own. Of course, we have the #1 experts in tour directors and in guides. We have people who've been with us for years and years and years, and we're so pleased that they come back to us season after season. And it really warms my heart because I do get a lot of interaction from my travel agency partners, especially those at Cruise Holidays of Kansas City, where they come back with these glowing reviews that clients do. And it's always nice to be able to pass those along back to the tour directors. And then I did allude to it before, we do have Wi-Fi on our motor coaches and in our hotels, so that can keep you connected to everyone back home. One thing that I didn't mention on the last slide was our local favorites. And these are some of my favorite things that I've done on Globus tours over the years. These are always included, they're always special, and they're never extra. And it just kind of gives you a behind the scenes look. It might be going to a distillery and learning how they make a certain kind of alcohol, or it could be like when I was in Argentina, I learned how to tango dance. It could be in Ireland where I learned how to make scones, and then we had them for our mid-morning snack. So it's a wide array of different kinds of activities, but they're typically the ones that you have the most fun with and the ones that you talk about the most to your friends when you get home. Another style of travel that we're going to talk about tonight is monograms. And monograms is a little bit different in that with Globus and Cosmos, we hand select your hotels. They're already pre-selected. With monograms, you can actually, we have an included hotel, and then you can upgrade to different hotels based on their location, or if you want a higher end hotel. So you get to select your hotels from our portfolio. We also have the services of a local host who is there for you during set hours, and you have an emergency line for them. And they're there to help you navigate public transportation, or maybe to help you get theater tickets, or they will sell some additional optional excursions. They also will host your VIP sightseeing. And in many cases, especially outside of Europe, that sightseeing is going to be completely private to the 2 or 4 or 6 people that you're traveling with and that you know. And then when you do multiple cities with us with monograms, we do include the transportation between the cities and during sightseeing. You always get breakfast daily on all monograms, and some monograms we have other meals included. So when we get to more exotic destinations, we do throw in the meals because you're going to be together, and it's just not something that is readily accessible if you wanted to go out and do it on your own, like when we're in Antarctica, for example. So Monograms also has a really neat portfolio of cities that you see here on the screen: London, Paris, Rome, Florence, Venice, Madrid, Barcelona, and Amsterdam and Lisbon. And those cities are what we call our Monograms Your Way cities. These cities in Europe, you can do anywhere from 2 to 5 night durations, and we have lots of different options of how to mix and match them. So it really is kind of a neat opportunity for you, because you might want to do Rome, Florence, and Venice, but you want to do 2 nights here and 5 nights here and 4 nights here. This allows you that ability to do that, not be part of a tour group per se, but have some free time to go out and explore on your own. So that's a little bit about monograms. And then also we have Avalon Waterways. Now, this is the beautiful panoramic suite of one of our Avalon panoramic ships. And you'll notice this is what we call the open air balcony. I mean, it is 11 feet wide by 7 feet tall and open 7 feet. There is no place to step out. So it's what other people might call a French balcony. But the difference between our open air balcony and a French balcony is tremendous, because again, it's all about the size. And if you don't think size matters, wait till you see this stateroom and wait till you see this layout. This is just a quick, diagram of what our staterooms look like on Avalon. I could talk about Avalon for days and days, but I won't tonight. But this is kind of a good indicator for you. We are the ones who have the beds with the views. You might have seen our TV commercials. And the blue highlighted area is where the other guys' cabins end. Our cabins extend out, giving you a seating area with a love seat, a chair, and a table. Why is that important? Well, the other guys just simply can't do it because they've given you an external balcony. But what I will tell you, and that is very important, is you don't spend a whole lot of time on your balcony. And if it's raining or if it's cold or if it's hot, you're probably not going to go out there either. We sail from March to December. We might even have snow. Why not watch the world go by inside in your climate controlled, beautiful stateroom, well-appointed stateroom? So, you want to get away, but where should you go? Well, again, we go to over 500, we have over 500 different itineraries for you to choose from within all 4 of our brands. And the topic today was 8 ways to spend 8 days. So I'll only be showing you 8 of them. But if you need 8 more ideas, the folks at Cruise Holidays would be happy to help you with those. So the first one I wanted to point out was a brand new tour for us. It's called Irish Manors and Castles. And Ireland is a great first step. If you've not been to Europe yet, or maybe you have and your spouse hasn't, or you're going with friends, I highly recommend Ireland. Obviously, there's no English, there's no, no language barrier, but everybody is just so darn happy to see you and so happy to show off their country. And so this is a new one, like I said. It's 8 days. It's a very leisurely pace. It's you fly into Shannon and you start in Limerick, and then you're going to go north to Galway, or you'll see the Cliffs of Moher, to Westport, and so on, before ending in Dublin. This includes a full Irish breakfast each day, 4 3-course dinners with wine, and it operates almost year-round from April to September. And the price point is fantastic. It's $8.99 per person, land only. All my rates tonight will be land only. And say you or one of your traveling companions likes to travel as a single, you can make it a single for a very affordable price. And right now, you're actually going to get an extra 5% off if you book within the next couple of weeks. Now, what makes this itinerary special? Well, one of the things is you will see the Cliffs of Moher and Giant's Causeway. And what I love about both of these places is you don't have to drive it. Once you drive through the Cliffs of Moher, you will be so taken aback by its beauty that you don't want anybody to miss the view. And then you also have a 2-night stay in Copper Castle. This is the only tour that we offer that has castle stays. So this is very exciting. And that picture on your right-hand lower side, that is Copper Castle. So that's where you would be staying. One of my favorites here is we do the scone baking, which I think is fantastic. Cliffs of Moher, you make a stop at the when you're done with the Cliffs of Moher at this great little place. It doesn't look like much, but has the best shepherd's pie you've ever seen. I mean, it is worth the airfare just to go get that. Now I'm hungry. Just to go get that shepherd's pie. I highly, highly recommend it. So that's a little bit about Ireland. We obviously have other tours that include Scotland and, do different, show you different parts of Ireland. But this is an 8-day itinerary, and I love the price point. I think it's very fun. Another really popular itinerary for us is Spectacular Spain. Again, you guessed it, it's 8 days. It's a nice moderate pace. It goes from Barcelona to Costa del Sol, so you're right there on the water, with a day trip to Gibraltar. breakfast daily, of course, a couple of dinners included, operates April to October. And this again is very reasonably priced. And remember, you can take an extra 5% off that from pricing. So that's really nice right off the bat. You can also make it a single for not much more. But what I really love is it does include the high-speed rail from Barcelona to Madrid. There's some great guided sightseeing throughout the tour, but the Prado Museum is very, very impressive. And then we also have some local favorites. Remember, I talked about those local favorites that are always included, never extra. We have a tapas tasting evening or event, and then we also have a dinner at a local restaurant. Sometimes we do, we might do like one meal at the hotel just because it makes good sense, but we try and get you out to the local restaurants as much as we possibly can. Hey, another Globus tour that I absolutely love, and this is the Greek Island Adventure, and this is one of our undiscovered tours. And if you've listened to me talk before, we've talked about these undiscovered tours. They're kind of off the beaten path. And you're thinking, Greece, that's not off the beaten path, Robin. Well, it sort of is. This one's going to begin and end in Athens. And then you're actually going to, you start with one night in Athens, you fly to the island of Crete, you stay there for 2 nights, and then you're on a ship to take you to Paros and Naxos, which are 2 of the lesser known Greek isles, but they are also 2 of the most beautiful Greek isles. So that's kind of the undiscovered portion of it. It's a great price point at just $18.99 per person, land only, and you can make it a you can get a single supplement for just $380. And if you want to book now, you get an extra 5% off of this one as well. Now remember, I always talk about how, just a couple of other things. You'll have a pastry tasting while you're there. You'll do a ferry from Paros to Athens. And like I said, you'll do Paros, Naxos, and Crete. The lower right-hand quarter, that is Paros. So not bad. That's a pretty beautiful view, I would say. Now, remember, all the pricing is land only. We obviously can arrange for air through Cruise Holidays, and they use our air contracts. And if you wanted to do something on your own, you could absolutely do that through Cruise Holidays as well. Moving on to Monograms, you might not, if you've been a fan of the Globus Family of Brands, you might not have known that we've dipped our toe into the warm waters of Fiji. This is a great fun and sun destination. It's great for honeymooners. It's great for special anniversaries. It's just great for beach bums, really. You get breakfast daily and 1 lunch. There's plenty of time to relax. Literally, you're going to fly into Nadi, and then you are going to head over to the Coral Coast, where you'll be in the Coral Coast for 4 nights. Then you're going to go back up to Nadi and to the Mamanuca Islands of Fiji, and that is actually where one of the Survivor series, one of the seasons was filmed. So that's kind of exciting. You will have some things that will be included, and we'll talk about that in a second. But it's priced very affordably from $25.49 per person, land only. And remember, I said with Monograms, you can upgrade your hotels. You can upgrade to the next level resort for just $56 per person per night on this particular itinerary. That's fantastic. So you have the 3 nights in the Mamanuca Islands, 4 nights on the Coral Coast, the included hotels, the Sheraton Resort and Spa on Tokoriki Island, or the Outrigger Fiji Resort. But we do have those upgraded hotels available. Let's see, on your left-hand side, that's going to be the Sheraton. On the right-hand side, that's going to be the Outrigger. Both beautiful hotels, but you'll have plenty of time for snorkeling and diving and even surfing, and you'll do a little bit of a city tour when you're in Nadi. So that's kind of nice. Here's another great place. Did you know you can go to Kenya on a private safari for 8 days with the Globus Family of Brands with Monograms? This is a fantastic way to see this region of the world, the private guide and driver. So when we get into the exotics, you're going to have more private sightseeing and drivers and that sort of thing. This operates year-round. It's very reasonably priced for a safari at $35.09 per person. And we also upgrade to luxury tented camps and lodges. And on this particular itinerary, you can upgrade for just $110 more per person per night in some of the places. So you start with an overnight in Nairobi, and then you're going to head up for 2-night stays in each of the national park areas or the conservatory areas. So with this, you've got the private sightseeing and game drives. You're going to do 8 private game drives. Why is this important? Because that's what you came here to see. You're going to do some in the morning, some in the evening, some in the midday, because different animals are out at different times of the day, of course. And if you book, 4 people on this Kenya private safari, you're going to be in a vehicle for just your 4 people. The vehicles only hold 6 people total, and we don't mix and match couples. So that's kind of nice too. You'll do a chimp sanctuary. You'll go to the Lake Naruka National Park, and you'll spend time in the Masai Mara. So if this is on your bucket list, this can be your next great adventure if you want it to be in just 8 days. Another great Monograms opportunity for another kind of destination that people have on their list is the Galapagos highlights. Again, this is Monograms exotic. So you see we have 15 meals included because, it's not like you're just gonna swing by a little cafe in some of these spots. We have a local host while you're in Quito in Ecuador, and then a naturalist while you're traveling through the Galapagos. Again, it operates year round, and upgrading your hotel is super easy on this particular itinerary. So you are actually flying from Ecuador to, North Seymour, to Baltra, to Santa Cruz, and then you'll be doing you'll fly into Santa Fe, and then you do the ferry or the ship to the other islands. So it's actually a yacht, I should have said, a private yacht. And then you have a private city tour of Quito. You'll be going to the giant tortoise reserve. You'll visit all the islands that I mentioned before. And a really cool thing is that you'll go to the Charles Darwin Research Station, which not many people get to go to. They do limit how many passengers or guests can be in this area on any given year. So it's very exciting that you'll be able to do this. And here are our friends, the blue-footed boobies. I just think they're beautiful, and I love their shade of blue. And you'll have animal encounters out the wazoo. So again, if you are a wildlife person, if you love seeing unique animals in their natural habitat, this would be a great itinerary for you. Now, moving on to Avalon, I did want to point out a couple of Avalon itineraries that maybe I don't talk about as much. Canals, Vineyards, and Castles is a great 8-day itinerary. All your meals and snacks on board are going to be included. Wine and beer with lunch and with dinner, soft drinks with lunch and dinner are going to be included. You have included excursions each day. And this particular one, you can either start in Amsterdam and sail southbound, or you can start in Remick and sail northbound, but you're on the Rhine River the whole way. And really affordable pricing at $32.99 per person for our entry-level stateroom. It's just a slight upgrade to get to that stateroom that I showed you the picture of before. But check out these dates and jot them down and call your counselor at Cruise Holidays tomorrow, because we are offering free airfare from Kansas City and many other cities if you have a traveling companion coming from somewhere else, or you can get $2,000 off per couple on the selected dates that I have listed here below before March 9th. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, Robin, that sounds great, but I don't need the free air, I have points. Okay, no problem. If you want to use your points, then we would give you an extra $1,000 off per person, plus the other $2,000 so per couple. So it could be a very, very nice way to see this region. And a couple of the things, I told you we started in Amsterdam to Remick or reverse. It's going to sail through Holland and Germany. Looks like I forgot a Y there, and Luxembourg. And the ship that we use for this is just 128 passengers. Lots of great history, lots of great wine tasting, all kinds of included excursions. that you don't have to pay anything extra for. So that's always nice as well. And then Paris to Normandy. This was the very first sailing that I did on Avalon, and I absolutely loved it. It's round trip out of Paris. It sails, from April to October, end of October. Again, same inclusions on board. But what I love about this one is the time that you get to spend in Normandy. Now, if you're a history buff or if you've never been to Normandy, I highly recommend going to the beaches, and we'll take you down the beaches, we'll take you to the cemetery, we have a little service there. It's very moving. If you've done Normandy, or if that's just not your cup of tea, we also have the Taste of Normandy, which is an optional excursion that you can purchase that is more of a culinary view of the area. But Normandy itself is a really neat little quaint place, and it obviously holds a special meaning to a lot of people throughout history. This is also a great itinerary for special offers. We do have that free air promo or the $2,000 off per person on just a handful of dates. Again, you have to book by March 9th of 2020. But if you haven't done Paris to Normandy, I highly recommend it. Let's see, is there anything on here that I can tell you that I didn't already tell you? I will say one of my favorite things about this itinerary is we overnight in Paris. And so when we're overnighting in Paris, you can actually see the Eiffel Tower from our ship. That's pretty amazing. Again, sailing with a smaller vessel of just 128 passengers. And you'll get to, go to guided tours of Giverny, where Monet did some of his most beautiful paintings, Busy Castle. You'll do the landing beaches, and plus we have some crepe tasting and pastry tasting, and then hiking and biking tours galore. So there's a lot of different things that you can do on this cruise and any Avalon cruise for that matter. So I don't want you to miss out. I kind of talked about a couple of our special offers. Remember, 5% off Globus worldwide destinations. You just have to book by the end of April. We have an extra 15% off selected packages on Monograms to Paris this month. They have to include Paris. And then we also have the free air on selected 2020 sailings on Avalon. I just mentioned 2, but there are several others that have the free air promo until March 9th. So jump on that while you can. Plus, because you're very special guests of Cruise Holidays of Kansas City, you'll get an extra $100 per person if you book by March 3rd, I believe, with Cruise Holidays of Kansas City. So you know where you want to go now. But do you know the best way to go? And this is why you want to go with a travel professional like those at Cruise Holidays. It's super important that you have somebody who knows all the ins and outs. And the folks at Cruise Holidays really are professional, and they are some of my favorite people on the whole planet. And I always like to say, travel globally, but buy locally. This is a great way to show support of a family-owned business. This is Mark and Mimi Comfort. Aren't they adorable? And this is their business, and it has been their business for, I think, 30 years now. So we really want to make sure that we keep this vibrant company going, and they have great counselors that have been all over the world, hassle-free planning. They really do capitalize on their partnerships with our company and with others. And I will tell you, with our company, you will never get better pricing by calling us than you would with Cruise Holidays. So that's really important. And if you want to start planning, please give them a call. They are closed for tonight, but they will be there bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow morning. And if you don't have a travel professional at Cruise Holidays yet, they will match you up with a great person. And if you're a returning guest, make sure if you have a welcome back credit that you ask to use it on your next vacation. All right, so that's all for me today. I really want to thank all of you for joining me, and I hope that your next vacation is a Globus vacation. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.